Hi everybody, it's Rena. I know I haven't been on for a while. I just needed a break, and I've had a lot of psychic experiences since I've been on last, and I would like to start sharing, and eventually get this channel monetized a bit, so I can do more. I don't know, more stuff on it, and maybe make a little money on it. I did have an experience I think that you might be interested in. It was quite frightening. It was not that long ago. Those of you who don't know me and those of you who are liberals, goodbye, because I'm conservative and I think that way, and my visions point towards that as being conservatism as being right, and this all this liberal woke stuff is not. A lot of it is really bad. um I do connect with God and Jesus and spirits on a regular basis, and I know all this new stuff, this transgenderism and all this stuff is wrong. And anyway, so I had this experience. It wasn't that long ago. I got a new doctor, a specialist. I'm not mentioning any names or any things. A specialist where I go and get injections every 3 months. And I just got a new doctor. I went for a consult and we started talking about like new age, like spiritualism and all these, a lot of these conspiracy theories are actually have come out to be true, about the government, about the last election, about a lot of things have turned out to be true. And I have seen for myself through my guides what is actually going on, like right away. And that's how and my husband goes with what I say because it eventually ends out to be true, because the truth usually always comes to the surface. Anyway, so I had this vision. I had this thing. So I go to my doctor, my new doctor, and we have a consult and we talk for like 2 hours. He does my consult and for my injections, and it's medical. It's not cosmetic or anything. So anyway, so we talked about like psychic things like for a long time, and he says, "Oh my God, you're I don't have anybody to talk to about this. Is a doctor. I mean, he's highly educated, highly, he's talking to me, and I'm just a person who is in touch with the other side because it's not so hard to understand that we this is not just what we have. It's not just there's another world. Where do you go when you die? I mean, some of us are able to cross that barrier and are told things by our guides and can see things, can see what's going on, can see things that other people can't see. So anyway, I'm talking to the doctor, and he's fascinated. He's like, "Well, tell me more," and I'm like, well, "I don't want to take up all your time here." And the waiting room was virtually empty. So, but anyway, they were talking about all kinds of what would be termed as conspiracy theories, and all kinds of new age, what I called the old ways, but we're talking about all that and everything, goes like that. And he's fascinated, and I'm like happy to have somebody to talk to about it because my husband doesn't quite understand it, because he's not like that. Anyway, so I go back for my visit, and he's talking while he's getting the needles ready and everything like that, and he's talking. He starts to talk about it. He's doing my injections, my neck, and he starts to talk about like the Vatican, and there's something about the Vatican that's evil. It's just I don't if you're Catholic or whatever, but there's something that's evil. There's things that have been going on that are not godly and not godlike, and I don't even trust this Pope. I'm not Catholic, like I said, but There's something about this Pope that I don't like. I liked the John, Paul, I think, the Pope before, but there's something about this Pope that's evil. And I know that they've done things there in the Catholic Church and all church, some other churches that are evil, and it's connected with the deep state. And the deep state is the government that is beneath the surface that's trying to change. If you've noticed, our world is kind of changed. They're trying to get us into a socialist society, and this is part of the plan, the big plan, the deep state's plan, and that's why they're letting all these illegals in. They want to eliminate certain types of people, and it's the Democrats are doing a job on destroying our country on purpose because they want to revamp it into their what they want. They want everybody to be government controlled. And this is the truth. And this is what I've seen. And he starts talking about the Vatican and demons. And I know not to talk about demons because when you talk about demons or you acknowledge them or the deep evil spirits, starting to have a hard time breathing because I don't like to talk about it. You encourage them, you invoke them. That's why you should never, ever go there. You should never play with the Ouija board. You should never try to invoke black magic or anything like that. You stay on God's side because there you're protected. And evil spirits are attracted to people like me because they know I can see what other people can't see. So the doctor's going on, and I'm trying to like cut him off. Like I don't talk about that. And he started talking about aliens, and I'm like, yes, I believe there's aliens, but I'm not talking about them because I just don't. It makes me really uncomfortable. To think that they're. I know they're there. I know we have other people or beings in this universe than us, but I don't want to hear about them. These scares me. And the same thing goes with demons because I've been attacked by demons a couple times and it's not a pleasant experience. So you don't talk about them, you don't invoke them in any way. So he's going on and on. And all of a sudden he sits down in the chair in front of me, like pretty close to me, like from here to here. And he looks at me and he's talking. And suddenly I feel this thing in front of me. It's like matter, like energy, and it's like real. It's like a a a field, and his eyes. I look at him, and his eyes go completely black, and I felt like I was gonna throw up, pass out. I felt like this thing was in front of me, and I couldn't move. And he looks at me. He says, "Are you okay?" And I said, it's the medicine. It's the medicine. He says, you look kind of, and I said, I'm okay. It's just the medicine. It does make me a little dizzy sometimes when I get up, but I just said, no, it's okay. So I got up, and just thinking about it is really getting me, whatever. And anyway, I get up, and suddenly I feel better. And I look at him, and he says, well, what can we do, about these things that are going on in the world? Because we were talking about that too. And I said, I've had visions of what's to come. And I said, everything will be okay. You just need prayer. Just pray, and pray to God, and everything. And I feel this golden light around me, and I know I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm out of whatever it was standing between us. I don't know if it was coming from him or it was because his eyes went black and he didn't realize it. And then I get in the car with my husband, and who drives me when I have these treatments because I do get a little dizzy. And I said, "Oh my God." I said, either the doctor is getting too close to this realm of knowing because they don't want you to know. The deep state and the evil the evil that's on this earth, they don't want you to know because evil resides in some people. That's what makes these crazy people who push people in the subway and who in front of trains and do all these machetes. I think they're being influenced by demons that are on the earth right now, because I the crime rate has gone up, if you've noticed, by an exorbitant amount, and people are just going crazy. So anyway, I hope to be able to tell you the rest of this because I'm feeling kind of dizzy. Anyway, so we get home. I said either he's too close or he's there already, to my husband. And I told him what happened, and he's like, well, he knows me. He knows, we've been together for 16 years. Anyway, he knows that I'm telling the truth. And I said, oh my God. I said, I have to tell him. I said, I have to tell him he's just too close. And there's something was in, whatever, in the office with us, and it scared the hell out of me. Anyway, so I felt like the thing, whatever it was, followed us home. I felt like it was in the house. And I just felt like it had come home with us. And my husband and I were having a date a few days later. And all of a sudden, I was kind of laying across the bed, and my husband was there, and instead of my husband in front of me, there was this pillar of, looked like sand pouring, and it was full of energy, and it was bad energy. And I was like, I couldn't move. And I heard my husband talk, but he was across the room. His voice was coming from across the room. And I said, this pillar of what looked like just tan sand. And my husband, he wasn't wearing his shirt, he said. I didn't even see my husband. There was this pillar of tan sand and energy, negative, evil energy in front of me. And I could not move. And I started scratching at it. And I said, I was digging, and I have, long nails. And I was digging at the thing. And I kept saying, it's not you. It's not you, Bobby. It's not you. And I was scratching it. I'm getting nauseous just thinking about it. And I heard him from across the room say, it's not you either. And and this went on for a while, and I was digging you know, but we didn't stop what we were doing. It was like we were trapped there, and it couldn't move. And there was this like haze, like I was in some sort of a tunnel. And so finally it was over, and I like came out of it, and everything cleared up. And my husband was sitting on the bed a couple feet away from me and said, what the hell just happened? And I said, oh my God. I said, it was here. It was a demon. And he says, I know. He says, you weren't even yourself. He says, you were scratching me, but there were absolutely no marks on him. He said, you were scratching my face. You were scratching my chest. And there was not one mark on him. And I was digging in like this. He should have been bloody. So I said it was a demon, and it came home with me. I told you, and we both felt really sick. And I said we were just used. And I'm not going into specific details, but my husband said he didn't feel anything when we had our date, but something still happened. And he said he didn't feel any of it, nothing. And it did happen, and I felt like I'd been violated. And it wasn't my husband. And I said, you were all the way over there. And he said, you should have heard your voice. You sounded like Reagan from The Exorcist. He said, it wasn't you talking. It was some deep, guttural kind of voice. And he said, you kept saying it's not you. And he screamed, it's not you either. So we came out of it, and we were pretty shaken up. And I did cleanse the house, and I prayed and prayed that this thing would leave. And we felt like we'd both been used. And that same night, he said I woke him up and I told him to come in and have another date at 4 in the morning, which I don't remember doing. And we weren't drunk or drugged or anything. I said I didn't want to remember that as being our last date because it wasn't him. And he said he couldn't. So he pushed and I was very aggressive and I'm not like that. And I don't remember doing that. So I didn't do that. He said you were really aggressive and you insisted that was what. He went back to bed, and I don't remember that happening, and I don't sleepwalk. I Something made me do that, and it was the whole thing. So it took a couple weeks to get that thing for that thing to leave because I could feel it in the house. And I haven't talked to the doctor yet, but I'm going to tell him I cannot talk about this stuff because it invoked something evil. And it used my husband and me. And I'm not used to, I usually can protect myself against, but not demons. Demons are something else. They're from hell. And I have entities that bother me, little entities sometimes, or they bother me, they wake me up. And I can deal with them. I can pray them away, but this thing was a demon. So I have to tell the doctor that I can't. He's going to call about my treatment and for my next appointment, which is supposed to be next month. And I'm going to tell you I cannot talk about this stuff because it attaches itself to me. And since demons are so prevalent on the earth right now, and they've taken over a lot of people, and I am very strong spiritually and psychically, and the thing still snuck attacked and in the office it happened so fast in the doctor's office. I didn't have really a chance to I was just like, I could feel that like a pillar of energy in front of me, and I saw through it. I saw the doctor's face and his eyes were like black. So anyway, that's what happened. So I'm still very psychically active. And if you're not one of my followers, don't listen to this because or don't leave any nasty comments because this really happened and these things happen to me. And I dread talking to the doctor, but it's kind of hard to find this kind of doctor. And I had just lost my first doctor, and I like him, but I cannot. Even thinking about this makes me nauseated and dizzy. So anyway, that's my story, and so stay away from Ouija boards. Don't go on the edge. There are demons all over the earth right now. They're waiting. They're waiting, and they're waiting for acknowledgement. So don't, if you're into that, do not acknowledge them because they can attack you. So okay, well I'm gonna go. I have lots more to say and lots to do, and I need to make some phone calls to people about visions I've had, to police and other people, family members, and things like that about what I know. And I already have done that, but they didn't look hard enough. And so I will wish you well, and I will see you soon. And I'll keep hoping things get better, which they will, and I'll tell you a lot more. So I'm gonna work on my channel and try to get maybe monetized a bit so I can make a little money off of it. So I wish you well. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.